how this has allowed me to spend more than 25 million on Facebook ads for my clients, how I've done it with a really good ROAS. How would you spend $1,000 a day on Facebook ads? Better question. How would you break this scaling ceiling of spending 1K a day on Facebook ads profitably every single day and past that 2K, 3K, 5K a day? How would you break that ceiling? That was the exact question that I got yesterday in a group coaching call by a French brand owner. And he was like, Manel, if you took a new ad account that is stuck, unable to spend past 1K, what would you do? What are the steps? What comes to your mind? So we saw 5 or 6 ways to go past that, well developed. It was actually one of the best group coaching calls that I've done in my life, on those weekly calls. Super in-depth Google Docs, 8 pages, developing everything. And one of those calls that you get out of the call and you're super excited of super good energy after the call. So it was great. But anyways, one of the ways that I mentioned was make sure that every single flash campaign that you make is bigger than what you made last year. So basically, Black Friday 2024 has to be way bigger than Black Friday 2023. And the same with every single flash campaign that you make every year. With this, you guarantee growth. And you're gonna see in the Google Docs that I prepared in this video, one of the most efficient, best ways to grow is to make every flash campaign bigger than last year. In this video, I'm gonna show you how I've done it, how this has allowed me to spend so much money, more than 25 million on Facebook ads for my clients, how I've done it with a really good ROAS, how I keep on spending 10K, 15K a day, and how I make ad spend records in specific times following this flash campaign pattern. So it's the 6th of February, and so we're gonna focus the video on Valentine's, but because that's relevant right now, but it doesn't matter when you're watching this video. Like the concepts and the principles and scaling strategies, the approach applies to every single flash campaign. Doesn't matter if you're doing winter sales, Black Friday, summer sales, Valentine's, doesn't really matter. The approach, the principles, and the strategy is exactly the same. So yeah, let's talk about Valentine's Day. All right, amazing. So let's go into the Google Docs, Facebook ads scaling strategy for Valentine's Day, straight to the point. This is gonna be the structure for this video. 2025 relevant flash campaigns that I would run if I were you. The 2 types of flash campaigns that exist in the market, and almost nobody's doing the second one, so I highly recommend you do it. The 5 phases of a flash campaign. I've been doing this thing since 2020, 2021, so I've developed these 5 phases really well. Flash campaign warm up, Valentine's Day flash campaign, and we see, I just mentioned soft approach, mid approach, full approach, and the different options that you have. And so, yeah, let's just go straight into it. You've got here a quick screenshot of one of my clients, and just for you to see the impact that flash campaigns can have on an e-commerce brand. I think this year they made 1.5 million, I'm not sure now. But all of these boxes in red are flash campaigns, all of them. And I think here we had summer sales, but I don't remember now. So the peaks in revenue is exactly what allows us to reach 1.5 million in revenue per year. Without these peaks, everything flat, we would not get there. And so I'm gonna show you more examples just for the sake of proof. This is one of my clients in pounds. This is in the UK. So 2022, they made 1 million. Thanks to these peaks, you see the peaks. These are flash campaigns. Flash campaign, flash campaign, flash campaign, flash campaign, flash campaign, Black Friday, Christmas, Boxing Day. Then same brand 2023 had a growth of 40% and then a growth of, I think it's 37. Basically 1 million, 1.5, 1.9. So we almost double in size from 1 million to 2 million a year by doing what? What I said at the beginning of the video. Make every flash campaign bigger than the previous year and you will guarantee growth. So it's basically trying to grow where you have an advantage. If March is an extremely bad month, what can I do now in 1 month when March hits? Am I gonna try to make a revenue record and get crazy numbers? No, because I know it's the worst month of the year. So that's just gonna be a normal month, but then I'm gonna try to grow like crazy in flash campaigns in this scenario, right? So this is in the US, 600K 2022, 1.3 million 2023, 2.5 million 2024. This was huge this year. It was a great ride. This is massive growth, guys. And part of the reason of this massive growth, I mean, there are a lot of reasons, and this is an amazing brand. Super happy to work with the founders, and we actually have a lot of fun every time we meet. But anyways, it's also flash campaigns, and you see the revenue peaks. The revenue peaks are the things making this number possible. Then same thing here, this number possible, and 2024 is the same thing. And the comparison is year over year. And you pretty much see that in all cases, there's some type of flash campaign that was much bigger this year than the previous one. So, and in this case, you see that Christmas was much bigger. End of year sale was much bigger. Black Friday was way bigger. What else? Halloween was way bigger. Labor Day, which you're going to see an example with another screenshot later. Labor Day was much bigger, this one. So Labor Day, we managed to grow an 85% year over year. Why? Because we did a much better job, much better strategy. And me trying to scale this as much as possible guarantees that the brand at the end of the year, if I do this consistently every single month, at the end of the year, the brand is going to have positive growth. And so growth hack, and the answer to the coaching member that asked the question, how to scale past 1K a day, one of the ways that we developed is basically during flash campaigns, you make the ad spend records. So focus on making every flash campaign bigger year over year. And with it, you're going to guarantee company growth. Flash campaigns in 2025. You've got many options. I'm just going to give you the main ones. There are small ones, but the main ones are you start the year with a winter sale. Then you've got Valentine's sales on Valentine's Day on February, Mother's Day, Father's Day, depending on the country. You could do spring sales. If you're in the US, 4th of July is pretty good. Summer sales, you can start them if you're in fashion at the end of June, even at the beginning of June. Like nowadays, it doesn't really matter. And you can end this towards the end of August, depending if it's fashion or if it's another thing. It just changed it a little bit, but yeah. Labor Day in the US, I found that this is a pretty big campaign after closing summer sales. So if you're in the US, you have to coordinate when do you finish summer sales, give it 2 weeks of break, and then do a big Labor Day sale. Back to school, if you're in Europe, or back in business, is something that we did in the previous years, and it worked really well. Really good campaign for a more mature audience. Halloween, of course, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, Boxing Day, especially if you're in the UK, and New Year's sale, right? So these are the main ones we're gonna say. Market flash campaigns, because here's the difference, right? Two types of flash campaigns. You've got market flash campaigns, which basically is these ones. You follow the market. So these campaigns will have more competition because everybody's doing them, but mass adoption, which means the customer is expecting that there's gonna be a campaign on this specific day. So when they see your ad, they are already expecting that you're gonna have a winter sale or you're gonna have a Black Friday sale. So there's anticipation. So yeah, Black Friday, winter sales, etc. Then brand flash campaigns, you create the demand, you create the market, you create the trend. So these campaigns have no competition, but nobody knows that you're running it. There's no anticipation. It's random. So it requires a more dedicated, detailed hype phase. This would be brand anniversary, product launch, collection drop, product restock. It requires more work. And it's the reason why you see the fashion brands that highly depend on drops, they are doing a phenomenal job when it comes to this hype preparation phase. Like join the waiting list, the website is closed. They have to do it to build the anticipation. Otherwise, if they just say, hey, we have a new collection, nobody cares, nobody reacts because nobody was expecting it. And they're not going to say like, oh, new collection, I buy. No, you need to build some hype. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the conclusion from this is just combine market and brand flash campaigns in 2025. That's it. So if you haven't done it, sit down and plan with your brand or with your clients, plan what are the flash campaigns you're going to run in 2025, plan in which months you're going to put those, and that's going to give you an anticipation of the revenue for the year. So have like a calendar of flash campaigns. It's very smart to anticipate stuff. And also include, please, a brand anniversary. This is mandatory. Like, it costs you nothing to do. It's free. And it's nice even as a retention strategy, but also for prospecting. So just run a brand anniversary. The 5 phases of a flash campaign. So I developed even this thing. I think this graph has like 3 years. It's 3 years old. But I've been doing the same thing since beginning of 2021, end of 2020. I don't know. Because I've always, for some reason, I've worked in the past with a few brands that were fully dependent on drops and launching new stuff. And when things were not so amazing and we would launch a new product and it was shit pretty much, we would have to come up with some type of strategy to make it work better the next time. Otherwise, I get fired as a media buyer. So I ended up coming with something like that, which not only involves media buying and Facebook, it involves e-commerce strategy, which nowadays I think you cannot just be a media buyer, you have to be an e-commerce strategist, like a scaling partner for your clients. And so, yeah, these are the 5 phases: hype, launch, urgency, extension, and branding, which nobody does, but it's huge. And so I know you pretty much cannot read these things, so I'm going to develop each of these pieces, but just pause and think about your strategy for the last Black Friday. Or if you've done a winter sale, what was the strategy? Or if you're doing Valentine's, what's the strategy? What structure are you following? Do you have a strategy? Because many brands fully depend on flash campaigns. More than you expect, for sure. And it's crazy to see that they fully depend on flash campaigns, but they have no strategy. Like, they just post things at random times, they coordinate nothing. And so, let's get started. Flash campaign warm up. This is what I do before every single flash campaign, before anything. So, go to Google Trends. This is not going to be the exact most detailed thing to anticipate, but go to Google Trends and try to create an idea in your mind of how the market behaves. So this is summer sales in the United States for the past 5 years. And you can see when it peaks and when it drops, right? And so if you take a look at this, I mean, I did not put the little thing in here, but you can see that this thing peaks probably in July, and then June 5th, it starts growing by the beginning of June. Okay, we will do it now more in detail for Valentine's, but that would be the first thing that I do. Then analyze the market context and the liquidity. So you have to be aware of, during this flash campaign, do people have money or no? Because Valentine's Day, let's say, people used January to financially recover from Black Friday and Christmas, and that's a fact. If you see the conversion rate that all of us had in January, it was pretty low. Why? Because people had no money. And once they receive, you see, now they are back into the market, plus they have just received their January salary on more or less, let's say, February 1st. So now, and I see it in the conversion rate, people are happy. People have money. There's market liquidity. And that means that if I think about this, if I try to hyperscale Valentine's Day before people get the salary on February 1st, I'm just stupid, right? Because I'm not taking the market into perspective, into my context, into my strategy. And then I'm going to say, yeah, this year is just not converting. No, it's not that it's not converting, it's that you're going against the market. Try to scale, and if it scales, let's go. But if it doesn't, just understand that people have no money. And they overspent on Black Friday and Christmas, so there's a little bit of buyer remorse. And on the 10th of January, they're not going to be like, wow, Valentine's, yes, I got this offer, 40%, can't wait, take my money. No, but they're going to be a little bit more like that once they get the salary. And so, yeah, just understand market liquidity and context, and define the campaign calendar. And this is going to give you your warm-up, right? And so you're going to have a start date, end date, and then testing phase and scaling phase. We're going to do this for the Valentine's one, but yeah, I mean, the moment you start until you begin to scale, that's your testing phase. And a few days before you end, you're going to put scaling phase and scale with urgency. So just define these 4 dates, understand the market, see Google Trends, and that's going to position you already into like, I know where I am. I know the behavior. Okay, I know how to move. I know how, like, the chessboard. I know the rules, where I'm playing. Cool. Okay, now I can develop the strategy. I can think about creatives. I can anticipate when I'm gonna scale and when I'm gonna downscale. So let's talk about Valentine's, just to give you an example, because again, this thing is evergreen. This thing applies for every single flash campaign. So Valentine's Day flash campaign. This is a market flash campaign, right? So thousands of brands are gonna be doing this, and almost everybody is aware that this is happening on February 14th. That's it. If on February 20th you're doing a brand anniversary, nobody knows. But everybody knows, almost everybody, that on February 14th, there's Valentine's Day. Okay, so you're supposed to buy some gift to the lady. That's it. So let's create the warm-up, right? So in the US, past 5 years, if you put, for example, it didn't appear here. I put Valentine's Day gift. Because if you just put Valentine's Day, it's not a really good search. So just put Valentine's Day gift. So you see the buying intent. And you see in this little dot that I took as an example, 2024, things start really going up. And this is what the wave that you have to surf from January 21st. And you will see that these peaks, this peak means at this point is when you have to be spending the most amount of money on Facebook ads, and everything is going to be more profitable. Conversion rate, etc. This is probably I think I have it down below, but 10th of February, 7th of February. UK, it's pretty much the same. So it starts to peak 21st to 27th of January. But it's not huge. It's just starting because they don't have the salary yet. Here, full. So the conclusion from Google Trends is that Valentine's Day gift doesn't reach a solid search volume and relevance till the end of January. And I mean, at this height, I cannot call it solid until, let's say, until after the end of January. Yeah. So past the 27th, it's good. So it peaks approximately from February 4th to February 12th. So if right now you're running today a Valentine's Day sale, now is the moment you should be scaling aggressively. Yeah. So market context and liquidity for Valentine's. So same as I said before, because I used the same example. It's February 1st, they got the salary, everybody's happy, they saved some money on January, so we're good, people have money. Define your campaign calendar. So let's say we want to start on January 15th, and the end date, so the cut date to guarantee shipping, is going to be February 14th. Cool. What's going to be my testing phase? Approximately January 15th to February 1st. You could say February 3rd if you want to be a little bit extra. But basically, in this period, I must find winning ads, yeah, to scale in the next phase. And then from January 1st to February 11th, is like in this period, demand is high, but time is tight. Like I just have 1 week to make 80% of the profit of the campaign. And 1 week is quite generous. Like sometimes I've had 3 days to hyperscale fast. And in that case, what you have to do is A/B test scaling campaigns without going into testing. So you A/B test consolidated campaigns, and let's say you have 5 to 10 of those. And in a 12 to 24 hour period, you start to turn off the worst ones and you only keep the good ones. But it's a little bit difficult and risky to do. But if it has to be done, that's the only chance which I had with a Spanish member of the coaching in Mother's Day last year, I think it was. That's what you have to do. So anyways, testing is extremely important because it will limit how much are you able to scale in this phase. If you test irrelevant variables, things that don't matter, and you're testing stupidity, then you're not going to be able to scale. But if you test relevant variables and you get smart conclusions, you come to the scaling phase with some really good assets. So after these 3 points, you have a very clear warm-up. Let's define the 5 phases for this specific Valentine's Day flash campaign, which remember it's this thing, right? So phase 1 is the hype, which you can call build anticipation. I'm gonna start this around here, which you could also say we can start hype on January 10th, but 10th to 15th. Let's just not overcomplicate it. So you want to become top of mind and build desire before you launch the flash campaign. So I'm just going to put here, do you remember this typical sentence of it takes 7 touch points for someone to make an online decision, something like this. So this is like, I've mentioned in previous videos, this is like a 2017 marketing summit type of sentence. 2025 is like 14 to 20 touch points, to be honest. If we assume this to be true, you need to build anticipation. Like you need to knock on their door before you drop the campaign, so they are ready. And this is an example. You send them an email with a specific landing page that you build, and you say something like top 13 gift ideas for Valentine's Day. And 5 of these ideas are your products, and those are the ones that are highlighted. The other ones is like, yeah, this is a good gift, but it's 200 euros, it's a little bit too much. You could be like that. So, but basically, they are consuming your product. They are considering, this exists. Okay, already 2 impressions, 2 touch points here. Okay, so the conversion is going to be easier. So for this, you want to get creative. You want to use email. You want to use organic. And you can use something that I've been using lately, rich retargeting ads. High frequency, reach everybody, and have a lot of ads in there to basically prepare people. So yeah, January 1st, it's too early. Let's say January 7th to January 15th, you can do this thing. Now, let's talk about phase 2, launch. This is when you drop the news. So basically the sale is live. Here's an example with winter sales. When we dropped the day of drop, you see we have 2 peak days in revenue here. Fantastic. And then it goes down naturally. And here, towards the end of January, we start the urgency phase. And so the revenue goes up again. And this is usually the shape of any flash campaign. In this case, it's 1 month. But if you look at Labor Day, it was only, 5 days? Something like that, 5 days. So a little bit more. Yeah, 5 to 8 days. At the beginning, start strong. Then more or less flat, a little bit higher here, whatever. And then towards the end, urgency phase, and make a revenue record. This is usually the perfect shape of any flash campaign, especially if you generate an 85% growth year over year. You see, check this last day. So in this last day, we made a revenue record. We higher than any day in the flash campaign last year. But my goal this year was to go here and pretty much double. Yeah, we doubled. We doubled the urgency day of last year. So this is the goal that I was mentioning at the beginning, right? And so, yeah, just hype. And again, get creative. For any brand, it's just going to be different, but this is something you have to do. So the launch looks like this peak in here and this peak in here, right? So you want to coordinate all platforms to make a big revenue peak. Coordinate all platforms. Everybody's going at the same time. And we've got 5 minutes because I've got a coaching call in 5, 4. Okay, email, organic, and advertising platforms. So coordinate all of that. And then on Facebook, this is the ad account structure that I have when I launch the beginning of the campaign. So this is for Valentine's this year. Prospecting, ABO testing creatives for the future, Advantage Plus retargeting. These 2 start heavy, fast, strong. This one more relaxed. I'm just testing. This ABO will be relevant here. Here's when I need the ABO in some really good media buying to then come to Facebook and do this. Of course, there's a lot of email involved here. Don't think everything comes from Facebook. I would never say that. But it contributes quite a lot. Summarized, again, as I mentioned, you want to focus on retargeting and Advantage Plus first, ABO testing later, and finally you want to build scaling campaigns with the winning ads from ABO testing. This is the main thing. The media buying is gonna help to long tail the campaign, which means this goes down always. But how much down it goes depends on how good media buying you're doing in this period, in this valley, okay? So, yeah, the valley in between launch and urgency. So, the launch itself is just gonna last for 2 days, you see it here, but in between the launch and the urgency phase, you have something in the middle. So again, do some really good media buying and scale that. Scale the winning ads from the ABO testing. And be smart into what specifically you're testing. Let's go to phase 3, last 3 minutes. I don't know if I'll make it. Urgency, push for high conversion rate. So basically this is when the big money is made. For Black Friday, urgency is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So those 4 days are urgency. And so for this phase, you want to have countdown timers on the website, of course, for high conversion rate. You want to coordinate all platforms for an aggressive push. So if you see that the sales are going to start peaking by 3 p.m., everybody has 3 p.m. in their mind, and you send the email at 2 p.m., you're scaling budgets on every single platform at 2 or 3 p.m., and everybody's paying attention to that specific time, and you make a revenue record. So the dates, February 1st to February 12th, more or less, that would be for Valentine's, depending on the cut date. 11th to be more realistic and be safe. But yeah, this would be it. It goes deep how to use the urgency, and it depends on your case how much of a clean marketing you want to do. But you can start doing urgency here and mention last days, and then here you're mentioning last hours. That's it. So it just depends on the case. Now, phase 4 extension. This is, for example, when on winter sales, you say we're extending the winter sale 48 hours for our customers. That can be done on winter sales. Can you do it on Valentine's? No, it doesn't make sense because it's the 14th and that's it, and then it's over. So it doesn't make sense. Now, when it comes to the branding aspect, let me send a message to move the coaching call 5 minutes, because otherwise we're gonna have a problem here. Start. Okay, 5 more minutes. So, branding phase, super summarized. Summarized here, what you want to do is clean the, I just said it there. So clean the brand image after so much push. Bye, last hour, last days, 50% off, ending soon, biggest discount ever, don't miss out, etc. You're bombarding people with this. Your loyal customers, people in prospecting campaigns, you're bombarding them with this extra mega push, okay? And then bad feeling if after so much push you finish the campaign, disappear for 2 days, and then you send a normal newsletter like, hey guys, here's the collection, these are our best sellers, we're very happy, buy now. It's like, it doesn't feel good, right? Because you did not close the campaign. So politely close the campaign. That's what the branding phase is. And so many ways to do it. I'll just give you the channels that you want to use is email and organic. Long story short, you want to say thanks to everybody, not only people who bought. So you say thanks for buying, but you send the email to everybody. Let them know that you're preparing all orders, that you crashed the new records, that you're very happy with how welcoming everybody was to this campaign, etc. Even send them a warehouse photo. This is something that I've done with clients, and they're holding like one of these signs, and they say like the name of the campaign, thanks, and a lot of hearts. It's nice. You send it to everybody, you post it on Instagram, and then this has the FOMO effect to non-buyers. So people who didn't buy, psychologically, they're gonna feel like, everybody went to this party, but I missed out. Oh, because everybody follows the crowd. And so, yeah, creates FOMO very clearly. So 24 to 48 hours after the campaign, just do this. It can also be done in the end, the last day of the urgency phase, to push people to buy more. So you get the FOMO effect and people can still buy. However you want to do it, but yeah. So yeah, that's it. Hope the video was useful. It's time to crush those flash campaigns. And again, everything that I've mentioned applies to winter sales, Mother's Day, summer sale. Like, just think about you personally. What is your next flash campaign? And implement these 5 phases. Follow that structure. Do the warm-up. And then do the media buying, as I mentioned. Have your testing, and then with your testing, you move that into scaling and urgency. Be coordinated with every single point. Have clarity into what you're doing. Think about market liquidity. And if you become an e-commerce strategist, you're a really good media buyer, you're really good in creatives, and sky's the limit. And yeah, that is it. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.